you called Green Moscow Marjorie. The nickname seems to have really taken off.
Nuga, NAFO, fella, drama. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Nuga, NAFO, fella, drama. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. I put that on my party, I put that on my family. 14th District, Georgia Swamp, address me as your MTG. Yeah, you can kiss my ass, but you can never touch my town. I deport all the immigrants so they don't turn my babies brown. MAGA is my party, I'm like a horse head Barbie. Divorce one, he's not hung, but the gym guy is naughty. Hardy, magic girl in the Senate, radical. See me at your college campus, baggy full of Adderalls. Call me if you need a lie, call me if you need no truth. See them other Republicans, they don't ever leave the booth. I'm a conspiracy loser, I got no solid takes, but you and space lasers be burning up your Golden Gate Bridge. My IQ is less than your fridge and the freezer, and we stunning like
Hey, Commander, how's it going?
My IQ is less than your fridge and the freezer.
I don't hear you.
NAFO, fella, drama. Them basic bitches wear that shit,
Check your
so
settings in a second here.
NAFO, fella, drama. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother.
Alright, so let's see here.
NAFO, fella, drama. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother.
Just refresh them here.
NAFO, fella, drama. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother.
Okay. You might get a pop-up there. So.
Call myself a winner, yeah. And if I met Jesus, I would poison him at dinner. I'm the editor for NAFO, fella, drama. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. I'm looking like Madonna, but I'm flossing like Ivana Trump. You know I keep that twerk in my trunk. Got my hand on daddy Trump, so I can feel his lump. I'm yelling, Muga,
Commander
nasty,
in.
till my throat is raspy.
Commander, do you hear me?
Old, rich and trashy, I be where the cash.
I'm not sure he's got his audio set up right yet. Let's see.
Google map, I couldn't handle it, will poison all your kitty cats. Now Google that, dummies follow me on Twitter. I claim to read the Bible, but I be lying out my shitter. You're a lame ass sinner, I call myself a winner. And if I met Jesus, I would
Anything coming through there, Commander?
I'm the editor, director, plus I'm my own boss. Shitting on Ukraine with no shame, just to see the loss. Which means Natalie getting over me. Russian propaganda be pumping out my ovaries. And we starting like, NAFO, fella, drama. And basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Looking like Madonna, but I'm flossing like Ivana Trump. You know I keep that twerk in my trunk. Got my hand on
Okay, I just refreshed your mic there, Commander. We'll see if it works.
Got you spitting on my bits. And NAFO fellas always reppin' with bong hits. We wipe you out like toilet paper does the shits. Serve you up like cheesy eggs, bacon, and some grits. We are in your walls and we better than your cause. My Shiba Inu hungry, gonna bite you with his jaws. Designer keyboard ready for our pause. We posting memes, original with no flaws. We phone controls online for the cause. We never slow down, sleep or take a pause. We rolling deep in the fetty, that's our cause. We fundraising money, phone controls and breaking the laws. And we crazy smooth brain, don't ignite us. Bump until all my phalanges get rheumatoid arthritis. And that's why nobody ever wanna fight us. NAFO fellas never stop like a trainer virus. And we barking, biting, bonking, biting, wagging tails when we hit the night and sparking, lighting, igniting like a bomb. No views though, NAFO fellas be better than all your bots know. And we got no leader, I am the boss. 10,000 deep when we creep, ain't no time to floss like an owl. We don't sleep, we about that box, telegram to the X, we about the cause. And our moves are so fluid like we made of water, blowing more ships up, you ran out of solder. You might think you're hot, but my game is harder. Take a chick to the tunnel like up to a gutter. Till the end we will rep, that's all we gotta do. Tearing up the set with NAFO bong and screw. We bustin' rhymes in the beats like all the fellas do. Better check yourself before my doggies do. Got you spitting on my bits. The NAFO fella fellas always reppin' with bong hits. We wipe you out like toilet paper does the shits. Serve you up like cheesy eggs, bacon, and some grits. We are in your walls and we better than your cause. My Shiba Inu hungry, gonna bite you with his jaws.
All right, we're live, folks. I'm over here at the shills right now. My webcam will only record one at a time, so I have it set up for on their stream. However, I will be switching over to that screen here soon as Dick Dawson is ready at the shills. Let me bring over the campaign that we got going right now, guys. Excuse my voice. The pollen in Northern California is atrocious, and I am choking to death on my own body reactions from allergies. But yeah, fear not. I'm on plenty of pharmaceuticals, and we will clear up. Where are we? Easter Pysanky Renegade Chungus Canty Luton fundraiser, €6,629. 142 donations. The goal is still 11,000, guys. We got a long way to go. Right now, the total campaign is at 86,000 euros. And then going down to the donor box. Still early today, guys. I've realized that. Looks like we had a few donations yesterday. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Adam, Darlene, Christy, Lillian, and Anonymous, if you will. Shout out to Canty Luden, my partner in crime with the Anonymous. Guys, big news coming in yesterday. We got obliterated in our 4th place position. Like, completely obliterated. The shills came in. Someone dropped 10,000 USD. 10 racks. 10 bands. 10 biggins. Right here, look. 10 biggins. Whoo, shit. That's fire right there. Right before that, 1,000 euros. Look at that. That's insane. Insane, guys. Wild. Who's all in the chat today? We got at the very top Mitch, number 1, Weedy, let's go. Salt, what's up, Salt? How you guys doing today? Let me check over here and see if we're fired up yet. Might be. Test. 1 2 1 2. How you doing?
Could hear you.
Hey, Rudy.
What's up, dude?
Hey, there we go. Okay, yeah, I had a glitch on my side. I think I just fucked Commander McMillan up because I think I was telling him he had no audio when he did.
All right.
Oh, shit.
Is it cool to bring it over to the stream now? Are we good?
We're not live yet.
Okay.
I have mine set at 12. Is that correct?
Yeah, I usually, even then, I push it back 2 or 3 minutes.
All right, just let me know when we're live and I'll unmute you and we'll go for it.
Perfect.
All right, so we're still waiting on that. We are not live yet. Oh, yeah, we still got a few minutes. We're a little early, guys. A little early. We can go over some stuff that came through yesterday. I had a really fun late night stream. Hey, just me. I had a fun late night stream last night going over through some Cops Gone Wild pretty much on TikTok. That was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed that stream. Yeah, just to raise some donations. That's what it's all about. Let's see, where are we here? Oh, yeah. Speaking of donations, I played a cool little video that came out last night from Car4Ukraine. They gave me a shout out in it. I'm going to play it.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Bring it over here, huh?
Good morning, Vietnam.
Good morning, Vietnam!
This is not Vietnam. It's not hot here. It's very cold. It's a very unusual weather for April. But we continue our mission, getting some solid trucks to our soldiers. I'm going to tell you a bit about each one of them. So this first one, massive L200, that we've managed to buy because of Ukraine Matters, because Georgie, because of this great community that you, Georgie, my friend, has managed to build. And this one is going to the east, to some of the hottest spots on the front line. And as you can see, This one by Georgie, over here, over there, and over there. Number
Dude, Georgie is a fundraising beast. Like, he just busted that out so quickly. He's like, I think I'll join this fundraiser. 1 week later, done. Like 18,000 euros.
17, 18, and 19, and everyone who contributed for that. Let's move to this one. Number 19 truck from Ukraine Matters again. This delivery will be quite quite similar, right? We have 3 L200s. All of them wouldn't be possible without George and his community. Number 19, massive thanks to everyone who contributed. And of course, on all of them, you see armor here. You see the door is closed, but this one is open. You see armor over here. And third one, L200, same L200, armor on the front. These cars, if you wonder why they all
He said L200. Is that what he said? What type of vehicle is that? Do you guys know?
the same, it's not a factory settings, it's not a factory order. They are just proven to be really good ones, price quality wise. So that's why we get so much of those L200s. Also armor on that one, and also everyone who has contributed. So massive shout out to Georgie. I will be leaving below while I'm talking. I will be leaving some information who it's going to, because it's so cold and I forgot everything. Last but not least, this one is quite unusual. The SUV Mitsubishi Outlander. This one has been sponsored by an IT company originally from Ukraine, Intelias, that since the beginning of the war has been helping massively its people, who are not only great developers but also who are fighting this war, and they get them some cars, supplies, etc. And we help them to get a very good one. Folks, there's not much time to talk. We have some great convoy coming, but we also have an ongoing campaign, Easter Pysanky campaign. So please go there, find your favorite influencer whom you'd like to support, and yeah, all the funds, all the donations will go to the soldiers. But there are some of the influencers who are working very, very hard. Renegade Chungus, I don't know if you watched this song that he made. That was incredible, and all for our soldiers. And there are more and more and more activities that they do, all with one purpose: to get our soldiers as many vehicles as possible. So let's not stop.
By activities, he means eating spicy hot Polish pickles and drinking shots of 80 proof disgusting alcohol for donations on live stream, while totally defiling myself in front of my community.
Support, donate, spread the word. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes.
Well, there it is, guys. Cool little shout out. Thank you, Ivan. Little shout out to me there. Really happy about that. Good deal. Good deal. Get a peek in over here and see how we are on the stream. We're joining the shills. Let me just take a peek, sees, yeah? Get a little peekaroo. Just a peekity peek. Little peeksies. Alright, looks like we're in about 5 minutes. We're going to start it up. About 5 minutes, we're going to fire it up there. Let's take a peek, see what we missed in the news while we're waiting. Wow, let's see if I saved anything fun over here. Yeah, tomorrow's my birthday, guys. I'm going to head out tomorrow to the coast, to Mendocino County. Go have a birthday party there for my niece, who shares a birthday with me. And then we will be heading inland to a lake. I might as well show you guys the lake. We'll get out of the news. We'll have some fun stuff real quick. I already went to their Instagram. We'll do it again. They have a lot of cool stuff here. Okay, clear. Here's where I'm going for my birthday. Blam! Look at that thing. It's a freaking toad of a trout. That's a big one. That almost feels like too big to eat. Kind of mushy at that point, yeah? Like a Mitsubishi. Okay, so those trucks are Mitsubishis. That makes sense. I don't know models of Mitsubishis. I have no clue. Yeah, that's a big one. Look at that. Absolutely huge fish. I could not imagine landing one of those on my kayak. Yeah, I'm bringing my smoker. My smoker's coming. Yeah, can you imagine catching one of these on your kayak? I converted this like Walmart special kayak into a freaking trolling kayak. Dude, landing one of those, it would take me for a ride. That would be dope. There you go. I think that's more the average size. Still really hefty. Really hefty. Rainbow. That's a good eating size, I'd imagine. That would be good for the smoker. That's the target range I'm going for. I'm not looking for these lunkers. Yeah, look, right there. Look at that. Look at the color of that meat, man. That was a rainbow. The last one was a rainbow. There's different species. I think they have like golden trout in there, rainbows. I don't know if they have brown or cutthroats. Brown trout are actually not the trout species. They're a different species that are kind of like trout. So I don't know. Lake trout. I've never even seen a trout that big. The biggest trout I've seen, other than a steelhead, was like a 22-inch rainbow that I caught. So these are just outrageous. Oh, I did see some Eagle Lake trout that were big. Eagle Lake have gigantic trout. The lake, Eagle Lake itself, has such a high alkalinity that only specific Eagle Lake trout species and tui chubs can live in the water because it's such a high alkalinity, and they're beautiful fish. They're absolutely beautiful. Yeah, that's a golden trout right there. I've never caught one of those. These are usually found at extreme high altitudes, like up in the Sierra Nevadas. So you don't see those all the time. Ooh, that's a largemouth bass there. That's a good sized bass. They got bass in there too? Gosh dang. I'm not a bass fisherman, guys. Are there a lot of fishing where you're? Yes. No, I am. So where I am in California, I am surrounded by public land. It's all over the place. Any direction I go right now, I can literally run into public land, which is a blessing. The town I'm in, it's rough. It's a rough neighborhood. It's got a high crime rate, really bad drug problem. There's a lot going on here, but I'm surrounded by beauty. So when you get out of town, it's just gorgeous. In town, it's rough. The second day I was here, I got my gas siphoned out of my vehicle. Like, oh, close my mortgage, cool. Close my escrow, yay. And then, bye-bye gas. Look at that thing. That's a freaking monster fish. That's got to be a 10-pound trout. Like, dude, this is wild. Wild. And I will totally smoke something that size. I will totally smoke something that size. Absolutely. Absolutely. But this is the preferable size right there. You could even, that's still pretty. That's a big one, man. You're talking, look at that guy's face. So you got nom, nom, nom. That thing could feed like 6 people, no problem. A 1 trout. So usually what I like doing is I get some Louisiana fish fry. I'll fillet them out. I get Louisiana fish fry and I shake them in the light fry. And then I load a cast iron skillet over the campfire with butter. And then I put olive oil over the top so the butter doesn't burn. And I'll fry it in the breading in a cast iron skillet on the pan. And then squeeze on lemon at the end. And then you've got your cocktail sauce or tartar or both on the side. And you've just got this nice piece of delicious breaded trout. And it's just amazing. It's the best. I turned one of my buddies onto it. He was like, dude, it was a little piece of fish. He's like, that was the best piece of fish I've ever had. So I'm looking forward to that. If I get skunked, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Cry. There's catfish. Look at channel cat. Good sized channel cats too. I love channel catfish. They're delicious. They are delicious. Abso-freaking-lutely. But yeah, looking forward to it. Look, different species. I can't tell. I think that might be a lake trout. The way the blood is, obviously it looks like a cutthroat here, but I don't think that's a cutthroat. The cutthroats are small and they're more river trout. I think that's just a regular lake trout. Golden trout, rainbow, rainbow, rainbow. This might be a big rainbow. I don't know. I can't tell. Can't tell. Big ass bass, big ass channel cats, man. Oh, I cannot wait, guys. I need this. What's this? Look at it. What? Look at that toad. Walked out past the spillway, tossed out some power bait, and caught the biggest Amador blue I've ever seen, weighing 11.5 pounds. Beast. Absolute beast. Eat the fish on spot, catch another one. Facts. Dude, there's no way. Like, if they're really hitting like they say they are, this size, there's just no possible way to eat them all. Yeah, I leave the skin on in the pan. I don't take the skin off. With this, you might have to scale it. Usually I don't even scale trout because you can eat the scales on trout, but something this size, dude, that's like a salmon. That thing, it looks hardy. Hardy, hardy, hardy. And this looks like pre-spawn. That's just a big-ass trout. Big-ass trout. Oh, hey, I think Mercado's going to be on. I think Mercado's coming on, too. We'll find out here in a bit. Looks like we're still firing up. Okay, let's look at some more fish, because now I'm getting excited. I always take a peek on what YouTube says about how to fish these trout, because each lake's different, right? Each lake's different. It depends what they're feeding on, right? If it's freshwater shrimp they're feeding on, then you want to go something a little more aggressive than throwing power bait. You want to go like a live bait, lures and whatnot, flies, whatnot. With these, there's a hatchery right above this lake, so being that there's a hatchery, they were probably fed power bait, something like power bait. It looks similar to it, like a corn mash or whatever. So if they're like corn fed, they're going to bite off a power bait, which would make it totally fun if you got kids. Or if you just got a passion for catching gigantic fish. I feel like these big ones, they were trolling. This guy's on the rocks, though, man. If they're pulling up this size on the rocks, dude, what is this? Gary got one huge, 12-pound Amagold on January 24th, but he just received the info, and he also just caught another big gold weighed in almost 7 pounds. The biggest one was the spinner, and the 7-pounder was on a secret bait, both caught on the dam. They're pulling these off of the dam. They're not even in a boat. That's insane. Look how pretty that fish is, man. So beautiful. Yeah, power bait's king when it comes to fish. It is, absolutely. Power bait's the way to go. Psycho salmon. It does look like a coho sockeye. They're gigantic. 6 weeks here till the season opens, so you must be up north, Mitch. Are you up north in California, or you in like Washington area? Yeah, I heard Washington. There's places in Oregon too, I believe, that you can't use power bait. You have to use something else. Yeah. Yeah, power bait, I mean, when you got kids, though, dude, I'm going to throw it out. Believe me. We're catching fish. I'm not getting skunked.
And all around the green stuff.
So I believe the HOA that has the houses around this lake, they stock it. So that's why there's going to be they stock it like multiple times each month. Damn, look at that. Look at that thing. He's catching a release, and you can tell he's going to throw that one back in the water. That's beautiful. Yep, caught and released. That's not my thing. I don't catch and release. I like fish too much. There's no way I could throw a fish like that back. It's getting eaten. Whether or not by me or if it's mushy, to the cats. I will take that home and feed it to the cats. It's not going to waste. Absolutely not. No trout left behind. No trout left behind. Guys, if you're wondering why my camera's off, I can only run one camera on a stream at a time, so it's going to be over at the Shills. He's starting to load up here pretty soon. I was fortunate back in the day before it was illegal. I caught some pretty big fish, landlocked trout. They're huge. That was 20 years ago, yeah. You ever fish Sacramento or American River? No, but I used to live off of the American River. I never fished it though. I wasn't into that when I was there. My buddy just came back from the Sac River and he was slaying them. I forgot what he was catching. It was like some weird striper looking. Oh no, it was the Sacramento pike minnows he was killing, which I almost have the state record on catching off my kayak where I live. Boing. The color in that though. I mean, the color in these fish, it just looks great. So, can't wait. Can't wait. I guess it's a really pretty lake too. I've never even been here. I was going to go to my secret place in Trinity, Southern Trinity area, but I am going... Ooh, look at that. They got carp too. Oh no, this is Visit Sacramento. This is probably out of the Sacramento River. Yeah, Sacramento River, carp fishing. They are so overpopulated where I live. Carp have taken over everything. I ran into a Ukrainian guy in my secret spot a couple fishing trips ago, and I went and just kind of interrupted his camp and found out how he was doing it. I bought a couple of the rigs. I'm going to give it a shot this year. See if I can't catch some carp. Try to eat them. I guess they're pretty rough to eat, but whatever. I'll eat them. I've had cream smoked carp before. It was disgusting, but I'll try it again a different way. Maybe teriyaki. Oh, Shills is loading up, guys. My bad. All right, we're going to move over. Let me move it over, yeah? Okay, he's loading up right now. So we're going to move into another screen with me on it here in a sec. All right, we're almost ready. We're almost ready. I'm just going to keep an eye on it now, yeah? Let's look at some more fishies. Fishies. Oh, there's another popular attraction of California, unfortunately. We have a lot of wildfires. We had one of the largest in history where I live a few years ago. Pike minnow makes excellent Rick fish bait. So I haven't used pike minnows as fish bait. I have ate one and they're delicious. They just have a lot of bones, but they tasted like perch. All right, I'm headed over, guys.
Diplomacy that left everyone wondering if he was negotiating peace or just trying to get his pee-pee tape from leaking. And if that wasn't enough, the only entertainment we got this week came from Chinese state media mocking MAGA with AI-generated videos of MAGA assembling sneakers in sweatshops. Turns out...
Sorry.
Oh, no, that was great. But it turns out when you wage a trade war without a plan, the only thing you manufacture is regret. I mean, I feel sorry for those dire wolves of all the times not to be extinct. I'm Slavi, and let's say hello to the panel. Hi, Dick. How's it going?
Good. Crazy. We've got setup issues galore in the background. Commander can't really hear us, but we can hear him, and we're trying our best. And some days they say the sky is falling. Well, it fell, and I got to pick it up afterwards.
Sounds just like how this week has been. The sky has been falling because it's been absolutely dumpster fire news. Well, if we can't hear Commander Macmillan, hopefully we'll be able to hear him a little bit later. But Rudy, how's it going?
It is going pretty good. Yeah, it has been a crazy week. So much stuff has been going on. So yeah, can't wait to talk about it.
Insane. And we have Chungus, a new friend. I think we're also streaming on Twitch with him. Chungus, how's it going?
Hey, yeah, I'm over on YouTube right now. Doing pretty good. Started my vacation today, Renegade Chungus. Starting my birthday tomorrow. I'm going to have my birthday, so looking forward to some birthday donations on my Car4Ukraine fundraiser. If anybody wants to throw me one, that would be fantastic. I'm going to go hide out on the coast for a day, share a birthday with my niece, and then we're going to run to Lake Amador and do some epic trout fishing with my kids. So it's going to be a
Sounds
blast.
excellent.
Sounds like a good time, and happy early birthday. And I hope we do get those birthday donations in. And then we have, of course, Claire from Car4Ukraine. How's it going?
Hi, Slavi. Hi, Dick. Hi, everybody. Going very well here down in Australia. We're hitting autumn, so it's starting to cool off. And this is our wet season in the subtropics, so we're getting a lot of rain. But yeah, just enjoying the group with the fundraiser. It's always a bumpy ride. And this week, very excited to see Somebody Loves the Shills. And you had a big booster, which was loads of fun. Yeah.
Yes, that was
mystery person. I don't know if you know who it is. I'm assume you do, but
I have an idea, but nobody has stood up and claimed it. So
claim the glory.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that was a 10,000 one drop donation. Wow.
Man.
Wow.
Yes.
Man.
Fantastic. Well, anyway, it got us another truck going through the whole campaign, so it's very exciting.
Very much so. Yeah, let me just bring this up here. Look at that right there. 11,000. Wow.
So I'm looking at this on
It's insane.
another website page, and we're not playing. Are we playing?
That could be a clue there. Is that in euros or dollars?
Euros.
That's euros.
Okay.
Yeah. Are we playing? What do you mean? Are we live?
Yeah, yeah. Because
Aren't
I've
we?
got it open on another web page, and I'm not getting any stream
Yeah,
happening.
mine's not going. Something happened.
We're
Interesting.
not actually playing. We're chatting away to ourselves, not the audience.
I've got it up. It's up, I believe. Well, hold on.
Is it? Do I need to refresh?
Oh God.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all those who identify however the hell you want. This is How Not to Stream with myself and some other clusters.
Hello. There we are.
Yeah, you're up.
You're up. You're up now.
You're up, Asia. So
Okay.
we're
Struggle is real today.
oh yes, yeah. We still can't get Commander with his headphone thing. It's not working. When it rains, it pours, fellow babies. What are you gonna do? There's nothing else to say, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna dink around a little bit more in the background, trying to get Commander's thing working again. If anybody would like to take us somewhere to get us started, that would be great. Oh man. Oh.
Well, was that Commander? Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, did we hear something? Who was that? Commander, is that you? Say something.
Traffic.
Wow. Commander sounds like a 747 coming in for a crash.
Running
And
a
looks
panel,
like one
right?
too.
running a panel cannot be easy, guys.
Yeah.
It's gotta
no,
be-
Look at that face.
It's very
Yeah.
tricky. I couldn't imagine doing it right now.
Here.
I don't think you could hear us either.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Commander, can you hear us now? Can we hear you?
Give a thumbs up.
Commander's here in spirit only today, folks.
You looked frozen there for a second too.
He's in the zone.
Yeah.
We can say nasty things about him
Oh
too.
God. Oh God, don't do it, Claire.
Well, that would just make this the end time show then. We shouldn't do that.
Not at all.
Hey, Phil's joining us. Let me
Hey,
just
Marshall.
get this sorted out for him here. I'll put him in number 7 here. All
Guys,
right.
if you can, share the stream
Hold on,
out,
Phil.
like
You're
it.
almost done the
If
show.
you're not subscribed, you're in the background. Please subscribe. We've got a lot more to come. We got a great panel going
Oh,
on.
where
today.
is he? There he
Hey.
is.
Hey guys,
Oh,
Hey.
shit, there he is.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
sorry,
Made it.
sorry guys.
Okay. Where's here? I'll go like that. Go like that. There we go. Now we got Phil. All right. There. Okay.
Don't go out of your way because I'm not staying long. I'm sorry. I'm right in the middle of an edit for this week's edition of On the Edge, and my buddy, who is my editor, is going to be sending me something in about 20 minutes. So I didn't want to abandon you, but I got to get this shit ready for Sunday.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah, there's a lot.
Pressure,
Yeah.
pressure.
Phil, I
Yeah.
gotta say your beard looks extra fresh.
I was about to say the same
No, it
thing.
needs a trim. Needs a trim. Needs a trim.
He's got full on Santa mode going here, folks.
Yeah. He needs his red cap.
So
we have a good episode. Sorry to interrupt. I really literally just popped in. The reason why I can't stay long is that I have a guy who's on this week who is a former advisor to the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, and he's also a guy who was high up in the foreign ministry, talking with the U.S. And so I really and unfortunately, I interviewed him like literally 6 hours, 10 hours before the announcement that we were going to be changing our
Guys, if you don't know
our
who this is
ambassador.
Philip Idner. He's
So I
a
couldn't
retired
change the
ABC
whole
news
bunch
correspondent.
of the
I
context
would definitely
of our
suggest subscribing to his channel on the
conversation.
Edge.
So my poor editor, he's had to cut out a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm kind of preoccupied with that right now.
Yeah, no, that'll make a big change, won't it? Damn it.
Yeah.
You know, the
Yeah,
whole thing.
damn it. I was not a big fan. I was not a big fan of Brink. But I understood, having given the years of working with the diplomatic corps, that sometimes you can't be as forthright as you'd like to be. And I think she's a victim of a transition between the Biden administration and the Trump administration, and she probably should have kept her head below the parapet.
And what do you do? You know?
Yeah, I know. You're
Just
caught
take your
between
time.
you're caught between the devil and the deep blue sea.
Yeah.
Is if you
Here, I'm gonna share his channel.
continue to try and do something beneficial to Ukraine, but you know that if you are to push against the wave of the Trump administration, that you'll be drawing attention to yourself.
There's on the Edge
thereby
Philip Idner's channel,
making yourself vulnerable. What do you do? What do you do?
Well, yeah, sometimes you got to speak up.
Well, I don't believe the whole thing about Kryvyi Rih was the reason for her dismissal.
Ken, I'll ask Philip if he's seen Sweeney over there.
Point out that
Philip,
it was the
Philip's
Russians
in
who
Kyiv,
attacked. I think she was. It was a ticking time bomb for her to be released or to be replaced. So
They're going to put in some real Trumpist type person who'll just try to rip Ukraine to shreds, won't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you know, she was not great, but she wasn't awful. You know, the whole thing she did with getting energy and transformers to Ukraine in the last winter period was greatly appreciated, and I don't think properly acknowledged. But she, you know, she was in a no-win situation. There was no way she was going to stay for a long period of time.
When did she start?
She was appointed by Biden, I think, in 24?
Right.
23?
Hi, Linda.
Yeah, so she was going anyway.
But she
Trump
was
wanted his own people.
Oh yeah. She was going to go at one point, no matter what. But had she not put her head above the parapet with the whole attack on Kryvyi Rih, she could have stayed longer. Maybe. I don't know. But regardless, we're now going to get a Trump ambassador. And that's going to be a problem.
A big problem.
So I am sorry to see her go. She was not perfect. She, I think, did her best. But without her, we're gonna get God only knows, from the Trump administration. So
when you've got RFK Jr. running the health department, you already know all you need to about what's coming.
Yeah, Jackson Hinkle.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be somebody ghastly. That's for sure. It's going to be somebody that is prepared to say the most outrageously horrible things.
Yeah.
And possibly, straight to they'll say it in front of the camera. I don't know what they say behind the camera, whether they really speak like that to each other behind the camera. Who knows?
Oh, I'm sure it'll get linked in a WhatsApp chat soon or something.
Yeah, well, I just wish I was on the stock market signal chat group. I could have done with a heads up. I had $10 ready to invest.
Yeah, I would have liked the heads up that Marjorie Taylor Greene got when she left the market and went over to Treasury bonds at the exact moment she needed to. Nothing fishy there. No.
Can anybody verify that she's actually now being investigated for insider trading, or is that just fake news?
I haven't seen anything official. So at this point, it's still just sources, right?
Well, even if she does, it won't matter because what Trump is doing is turning the American government into a clone of the Moscow.
Yeah.
And they will not pursue anybody that doesn't have, they won't pursue anybody who isn't a compromising element.
If you're a hardcore loyalist, you're all right.
No, you're fine. Yeah. That you can do anything you damn well want to.
Yeah, and you could do it with your couch or on your couch. It really doesn't matter to them.
Oh God, we went there.
I never.
But the thing that America has turned into a clone of Putin's Russia is
beyond mystifying.
Amazing. I had the concern that this was going to happen. But I never thought it would happen this quickly. And I never thought it would happen without more resistance.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see America turn into post-Soviet Russia, which is to say Putin's Russia.
In a month.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't write a book before he came to office, maybe title it My Struggle or something.
Witkoff looked like he was one step away from throwing his heart to Mars when he met Putin. He was just a second away from doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that hand on the heart deal? What was that?
What, this one?
No, when Witkoff greets Putin in the big Putin room.
That was good.
Whatever that's called. He puts his hand on his heart before he shakes hand with Putin. It's the most disgusting looking moment of obsequiousness.
That's what my joke was about. But it seemed like he was more like it was a relief, because I'm pretty sure it's very Russian thing. He waited for hours and hours to meet with Putin.
Right.
So it was more of a relief before he gave a hand job to Putin. So his PP tape would not be leaked. So.
Love it. Oh, love it.
Well, I mean, they're working in conjunction. It's.
No, Ken,
It's very difficult to articulate because, I've talked to people who are inside.
Okay, that's one thing. Now that I've started streaming, I have
whether
watched
it's
like
the United States
less
or,
of everybody,
or
just
the
because
UK
I've been so
or
busy now
even
putting my
Russia,
stuff together, and trying to
and
figure out what's going
obviously
on.
here in Ukraine.
Dude, yeah, I don't have the hours of the day.
They're pulling strings that are making Trump dance to a certain tune, and it's not like a tinfoil hat kind of situation, whereas it is so much we all kind of agree we're just going to divide up the world, and this is how things are going to be, and screw democracy, and you know, the man is compromised. The man is compromised.
Yes,
I know that, like
100%.
when
100%.
I say that,
Hey,
that I get a lot of pushback.
I'm with you.
Well,
Yeah.
I know this community. I know this community understands this, but it's very difficult because they've done this professionally and they're very skilled at it. That to be able to say that a huge stretch of American body politic, and it's not just American; it's also the Brits, the French, the Germans, the Italians. The Russians have engaged in a series of information warfare campaigns that make even denying that they are involved in our body politic is to be dismissed.
Yeah.
It's to be ridiculed.
How's it sound, guys? Sound good?
And so you can't even say, hey, there's a lot of shit that Trump or Le Pen or Farage, or there's a lot of shit that's really, really questionable.
Yeah, man.
About what they're doing. And we are met when we point out these criticisms, we are met with, you're a bunch of conspiracy theorists.
Right.
You're a bunch of you're tinfoil hat guys.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be treated like a flat earther for something that's fundamentally accurate.
Right.
Exactly. There is a far difference between, like, there's a flat earth, weraS Russia is actively engaged in the information warfare campaign to destabilize the West.
That's right.
And somehow we have gotten to a point where, like, those are equatable. And that's not equatable.
Cool, sounds good. All right.
You motherfuckers who believe there's a flat earth, everybody kind of agrees. Okay. All right.
Lunatics, fine, yeah.
Right. But to dismiss the idea that Russia is engaged in information warfare and equate that with the flat earthers.
Social media is the best thing that happened to them in, like, the last 40 years, because it gave them such a powerful weapon.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. I guess that's it.
Well, it's why I created the damn channel. You know, it's why we're here now.
Good on you, Philip.
Well,
Good on you, Philip.
You
If
know?
only I could get you to put on links, it would be good, of your fundraising.
You make me feel guilty. I'll try to be better.
Speaking of which, Phil, look at that. We already topped the truck out, but we had one person throw in 10,000. So let's.
Hey guys,
It
if
was
I
a
may
leak.
add to that on the Trump part, I know I bring it up every panel I've been on about the video that I did a reaction to, that Trump is a KGB agent. The material in that video is so spot on to what is happening now. It's uncanny. I even got a hold of, I got the editorial company's email. It's my friend's old editorial company. I'm going to reach out to them and see if there's any way that any of it can be verified, or where they got their sources from. Because it's coming to fruition, everything in there, from him being compromised from Ivana Trump, his first wife, through the Czechoslovakian KGB, which was part of the USSR, which connects over to Russia currently. It's uncanny. I mean, for anybody to deny this is happening, look, he tariffed penguins before he did North Korea and Russia. For crying out fucking loud.
Yeah.
They're doing it in plain sight, just like Russia. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I have spent 30 years working in the intelligence community, within the defense community. With I got contacts that go back a long way, and there are people within the intelligence, security, and defense community who will openly say to me that they know that Trump is compromised, but they will not say it publicly.
Right.
Because if you do, you are gonna come under fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And to what aim? Nobody on his side will believe it. And we all believe it anyway. So it gets to that point that you're only going to put your neck out if you've got something that really can make the difference.
Right.
And they just won't believe it. So until they go broke is the only hope we've got.
Christina, no, I don't think
there is no silver bullet.
There are some words you can't use in the chat.
Bring back the tariffs so Americans go broke.
Really
I mean, it's the only thing that's going to save the country.
Hey, Spider,
especially
Spider
after the
Fade.
tax breaks. The Carpathian in the chat there. We have secret spy footage we can share with you right now. I'll let you guess where this footage is coming from, but this is live. We gained quick access to JD Vance's, and that is the couch.
Oh, I thought that was RFK's brainworm.
Oh, I'd hate to be the staff that have to clean that thing.
I'm sorry to come and go so quickly, but I just got message from my editor that the next version of the episode is ready for me to review, and we kind of have a short period of time. Claire, I promise you, I'll try to do better. I've just been kind of.
I know everybody's overwhelmed,
with the
right?
show.
Everybody's overwhelmed.
Well, I'm trying to put the show out. And so
Phil.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey, Phil, before you go, somebody in the chat wants to know.
You Canadian piece of shit. Fuck you Canuck.
Hey, have you bumped into John Sweeney while you're over there lately? Have you seen anything from him? Is he still in?
John's not here now. John's in London. John and I are mates. John and I are very close. In an enclosed environment, because I really don't want to get involved in a flame war. But those of us in this community, if we're in a social media atmosphere, there's nothing for it but for me to simply say, do be wary of some people who are on social media who are kind of like bringing the MAGA world into this conflict. And there's a guy by the name of JP Lindsley who, if you see his tweets, ignore them because they're bad.
Child, what happened?
We got the goat.
Yeah, it's a again. If I wasn't like running off to finish some edits and grab a bite, I would I'd go into depth because I got into it with him because he was a former kind of a protege of Roger Ailes, and came here 3 years ago, and that's fine. I'm not a guy who is
guys,
like
if you haven't shut the stream up, please
meet a certain criteria before you can comment on Ukraine. But he's bringing a lot of traffic, a lot of baggage from his whole, and he's MAGA. So he's bringing a lot of baggage.
It's never a good thing.
Not a good thing. You cannot be both MAGA and pro-Ukrainian. I'm sorry.
No, you can't.
No, you can't, because so much of what MAGA is about is who is a good American and who is a bad American. And if you know your Ukrainian history, a major part of the problems that exist here is because who gets to be a good Ukrainian and who isn't a good Ukrainian, and that is influenced by the empires that are trying to control this territory, most predominantly the Russians. So this is anathema. MAGA is anathema to the idea of the country that Ukraine is trying to build,
Right.
in which there is a
Dude, I tell you, Phil Ittner is
multiplurality
spot on. This guy
of,
is super smart. You guys
cultures
should
and
definitely go subscribe to
identities
his
and
channel.
things like that. And if you are MAGA, you believe that we all have
I'm
to be
gonna post
kind of
his
on the
link to his
same
channel one more
page.
time.
Well, we don't have to be on the same page. We have to engage in the democratic, process.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't want to bring up beef.
So Phil, just before you go, there was discussion this week about partitioning up Ukraine with Berlin.
That won't work.
Will
not work.
It's been very controversial, that's for sure. Not well, like everybody seems on the surface to have misinterpreted the idea, because Berlin wasn't. Berlin was divided for protection purposes, it seemed to me. But I mean, what's your take on the whole thing? Because you'd know more.
Well, I think you can't do it.
Yeah, he
in
was
Ukraine,
ABC News correspondent for
because
decades. The dude's a
if
fucking
you
legend.
were to partition
He's just starting out
Ukraine
on
in
his
the way
YouTube
that's
channel, so he
being
needs some serious
promoted,
love. This guy needs to grow.
it will only provoke another war in a year, 5 years, 10 years, doesn't matter. It doesn't resolve the intrinsic issue that exists here. Is Ukraine a sovereign state with its own multicultural identity, or is it a pawn of an imperial conflict that goes east, west, south, and east, west, north, and south?
Yeah.
Ukraine must be sovereign. This must stop. The battle over, are you Austro-Hungarian? Are you Ottoman?
Mm-hmm.
Are you Russian? Are you German? No, you're Ukrainian.
Right.
And that debate has existed for centuries, and it must be resolved. Because if it is not resolved, then in only a matter of time, Moscow particularly will come back and pursue dominion. And that has to be shut down.
Yeah, it has to be like we do it up here, man. You know, everybody is from everywhere, but we're Canadians.
Yeah, you have Quebecois.
Yeah, man.
You have the Quebecois. You have Vancouver. You have British Columbians. You have.
Yeah.
I mean,
you've got two languages
in America.
Yeah.
In America, look at America. We have influences from so many different countries.
Totally.
Yeah.
But we still have the common identity of America.
Yeah.
And what Russia wants to do, and what unfortunately there are other elements that also want to do, is to divide Ukraine and conquer.
Mm-hmm.
And Ukrainians themselves, and Slavi, perhaps you'll support me in this, they recognize that the division of the different ethnicities within the country, which resulted because of different empires trying to control this crucial strategic area of land, they don't really give a shit about Ukrainian identity. They're using this in a chessboard, and that needs to stop.
He did.
And I'm hoping that this conflict ultimately will resolve this, and mostly with the Russians and the Muscovites. I don't know. Slavi, you're Ukrainian, correct?
If anything needs to be carved up, it's Mother Russia.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
agree. Yeah, everything that Phil said, it must be stopped. And I think what's most important is, what are Ukrainians saying? And we shouldn't let, what's his name, Kellogg to just carve up Ukraine. Like, who the hell is he? It's what the Ukrainians want. It's what that's all. That's all what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm. We can't listen to a man who's one step away from being named Cornflake,
Well, if you know the story of the Kellogg brothers, there's a lot of disturbing things there.
Yeah.
But look, I'm gonna hop off. But look, the important thing is to recognize that Ukraine is not a colony.
Right.
That's what my Don was about.
Hi, Steve.
That Ukraine is not.
Good morning to you, sir. Is definitely after.
Is not dependent on other empires. It is a sovereign state, and it isn't just that Moscow is the dominant empire that controls Ukraine. Although, it is, but Ukraine has also been this strategic area of landscape that both the Europeans and the Russians have kind of tried to play as a game. And that period is done. And the lesson isn't just needed to be learned in Moscow, it needs to be learned in Brussels, and it needs to be learned in Moscow. This is a sovereign state. This is a country called Ukraine. And it will not bend the knee to anybody.
And it includes Crimea.
And it includes Crimea. And it includes dominion of the Black Sea, because it is a participant in the in what happens in the Black Sea, whether it is naval power or whether it is mercantile power. And Ukraine must be respected as a sovereign, independent nation, both by the West and by the East. And so as somebody who lives here and somebody who is trying to give voice to these people, as a foreigner, admittedly, it's still something we need to be aware of. We don't determine the fate of Ukraine. Ukraine determines the fate of Ukraine. We can pick a side, and we should pick a side. And if it's up to me, I think it's clear the side I choose. But this is a sovereign nation, and it is long past time that both Western imperial powers and Eastern imperial powers recognize that they don't get to choose shit.
Well
So
said, man.
when you get guys coming over from DC saying we can make this some sort of DMZ or some sort of, checkpoint Charlie division of powers without consulting with the Ukrainians themselves,
Fucking ridiculous.
it is not viable.
Right.
The people of this country are going to say "fuck you" to
Rightfully
both
so.
DC and Brussels.
The people of this country are going to say
Moscow.
"fuck you."
So it's not any disrespect to the Western, those Western powers. It is simply the fact that this place should be sovereign. This place should be independent.
100%.
So
Yep. But what we're also talking about is their war capacity, isn't it? It's the support from foreign states and how much they can do without certain countries supporting them. And then what happens if they don't get that support? So it's not just the fact that Ukraine will fight on regardless, it's how well they'll fight on. I mean, that's what
and
we're really talking
how many
about.
people have to die?
Yeah.
They will die. They would, let me, living here in Ukraine, they will die. They will fight. They will take a fighting position as a civilian.
Yeah, it feels like they're just delaying for
on a
Russia.
corner in some strategic location in a city, and they'll fight and they'll die.
Yeah.
The only question is, how many Ukrainians are we willing to watch die before we decide whether or not, we're gonna get our shit together or not?
And this is 4th year in. I remember talking about the same thing that Phil just said in the 1st year. How many Ukrainians are we willing? And this is 4th year in, and the same conversation is happening.
Exactly.
Claire, I promise you, I will try. No, I won't just try. When we put out our next episode of On the Edge, I will include the link. I'm still learning.
I hate to tell you, but you also need to say something about it at the end.
I'll make an independent. No, I'll make an independent video. Is what I intended.
Okay. Thank you, Phil. Look,
I'm
we've got
sorry.
Andrew.
I've got the
Ricardo
show
in the house,
that I
guys.
have to produce.
Yes, I understand.
And it takes up a lot of time and a lot of effort. But
and we're living in huge times. Everybody's overwhelmed. I get that. No, I mean it's all about Ukraine.
I promise
it's
you,
not
I'll
about
try to do better. And for the entire audience, I see Mercado is coming online, so he'll. There he is. There he is.
There I am.
There's the man.
Phil, it's not about
so
me. It's about Ukraine, isn't it? I mean, it's got nothing to do with
For
me.
all
really.
of us. For all of us, Claire. No,
Yeah.
I'm trying to assuage my guilt.
Okay.
I promise I'll try to do better. But I have been kind of preoccupied with the episodes and what I'm doing with On the Edge.
Don't forget, I'm policing. I'm watching you all.
Oh, bloody hell. That sounds threatening. All right, everybody. I love you all. Slava Ukraine. Let's stay together. You all know that I support Ukraine. I'll try to do better. I'll try to do better.
We know.
I gotta go because
Get it together, Phil.
Fuck you.
Oh, that's great.
But my editor just sent me he didn't just send me. He sent it to me about 20 minutes ago. The latest edit that he's done with the episode. We're doing a thing with a guy who used to be a advisor to the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense, but he was also involved in the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry, and so he has contacts within the U.S. So we kind of do a discussion about it. But sadly enough, we talked about it right before the U.S. ambassador declared she was leaving. So it's a little bit dated.
Happens fast.
yeah, it's crazy these days. So look, I love you all. All the best to you. I stand with you.
You're sitting down, Phil.
I feel. Fuck you. I in principle in standing with you.
It's warm here too,
and
Steve.
obviously, I'm trying to do my thing with the show, but I promise you that I will try to do my best.
I just feel as though you've got a lot more depth, Phil. I feel as though the people following you are very different to the people following a lot of the other shows, and so there's an opportunity for you to really make a bit of a splash. So good luck.
I'll try.
With you.
I promise. I give you my word. I give you my
We
word.
love the show, so keep producing the show as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
We absolutely love it. Keep doing what you do.
I love you all.
Take care,
of
buddy.
yourselves.
See you soon.
Stand strong. Stand strong. Stand together.
All right.
Take care.
Okay. If it takes him that long to say goodbye to us, can you imagine what like a family dinner is like in his family? You know,
That was like a Minnesota goodbye, but like times two.
I really really been a fan of the Irish goodbyes.
Yeah, let's get some
I
flags
just
in the
learned
chat,
what it
guys.
is,
Get the
and I
chat rate
love it.
going up.
What is
Spam
it?
some
What is
flags.
it? Tell us.
Does it involve alcohol?
It's Irish, I guess. No, you just don't say anything. You just leave.
Oh, wow.
Party, yeah.
Oh,
That's my preferred strategy at this point now. I love
Thank
that.
you.
That's my favorite move now.
blink
Just leave.
away.
Yeah,
Don't say goodbye to anybody.
I like it.
it's great.
I like it. We're going to do that at the end of the show. I'm just going to go, okay, thanks. Boom. Just hit the
Is that
button.
what Trump did
Well,
with the tariffs? He did an Irish
Yeah.
goodbye. Tariff.
We'll see if you don't say goodbye to anybody, then you don't feel bad for missing a couple people and like, oh dang, I forgot to say goodbye to this person. Nah, you just
Right.
just leave.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I
Not
like the
just-
strategy.
Uncalled for to say goodbye to every single person. It's
I
just-
agree.
Yeah.
And I'm sure nobody wants to listen to you saying goodbye either. They're
Right.
like,
You're like calling attention to yourself at that point. Then it's
Exactly.
like, oh, now everybody has to like look at him leave, and it's like, no, thank you. I'd just rather leave.
Yeah. It just turned it all to yourself, and therefore it's not even genuine anymore.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's not even my place. It's not even my party. Like, why am I saying goodbye? You know.
like announcing to everyone, I am leaving.
Yep, that's how I feel. I agree.
So how's it going, Andrew? What's happening?
Good. Recovering from norovirus.
What a hit that
yeah,
is.
Yeah, I'm on the up and up now though. So today's good. Yesterday was like mid. Day before was bad. It was the same day I got back from DC. We just did the action summit for Ukraine
Yeah.
with the American Coalition for Ukraine. So there were over 600 delegates from all 50 states. All 50 states went to it. It was the biggest action summit that we've had. I've been to 4 of them since fall of 2023. Because 2023 I went to Ukraine like 3 times, and then I went to the action summit to go and see what the heck the legislation in Congress was looking like, because that's what these action summits do. We go to Capitol Hill, we have meetings with Congress, like our senators and our representatives, and we go advocate for legislation and policy. Like the F-16s, we helped do that. The supplemental funding bill, we helped do that. The long range missiles, finally, right? It takes a while after we get there, but we had to platform the bills and help whip it, or when we blitz the Hill, like when you see nothing but Ukraine representatives on the Hill at the same time, it's like all the Congress people see it, and like they all see us with our Ukrainian pins on or ties and the lanyard. And so it's like a really effective way, because you can go to Congress whenever. Like you can schedule an appointment to go up there in Washington DC whenever you want, as long as it fits into their schedule. But they schedule this summit to be on the same 2 days, so all of us are up there and you can't miss us. Like
If you do schedule one and it happens to be January 6th, I suggest don't bring weapons.
yeah, don't do that. But yeah, so we went up there. Well,
you can also schedule Zoom calls.
Reality is, it's Trump is president, right?
I
So
had
we're
one
not going to
person
be
that
able
did
to
a
get
Zoom call
any
last
type of
year
bill,
during the,
like an F-16 bill or a long
action
range
summit as
missile
well.
bill, or even a bill that has a weapon on it. To be honest,
Right.
like I'm just being so serious. So the best we had, and this is it, is if Russia breaks peace, then sanctions. So we got sanctions. That's the best we got right now, and it's actually led by a Republican in Congress.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the one positive. But it's going to be like a Noah's Ark type bill, where it's like bipartisan, where you bring like 2 Democrats on, you got to bring 2 Republicans, or 2 Republicans. You got to wait for another Republican to sign on, for another Democrat to sign on, and then the whip like helps keep that going in the Congress. But yeah, so only major legislation would be that, if possible, would be sanctions on Russia if they break Trump's peace negotiations, or whatever that means. And then policy agendas, we just talked about the missing children. We talked about the frozen funds that we still have access to, both the United States and Europe. Europe has until July for those frozen funds. And I think that was and then just talking about peace.
I think it's important to say they have until July, or it will go to Russia.
Yeah. Yep. Very important. Thank you,
So,
Slavi.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Can't Europe just hang on to it longer? Can't they make that decision themselves?
It's with Belgium. I'm not sure. I'm not up on the Europe one. The US one is not a lot of money though, but still it's money, but it's not as much as Europe has access to right now. and then it was the territorial expansion. Those are things we just talked to them about. There's nothing really to like advocate for legislatively. Like there's no bill for this, but we can just remind them, hey, like this is happening. Be aware. Are you aware of it? Or like, hey, and then they might say, well, I've introduced a bill for this, or I've been a part of this. The other positive that we got out of it locally in Minnesota, we have a U4U program. It might be national. I don't know. It's in Minnesota. It's the refugee program. And it's been like up in air for Ukrainian refugees coming that have escaped the war. And Senator Klobuchar and a few others have already signed on to a new bill that's going to address that problem. So that's a positive for here at home for Ukrainians that have fled the war, because that's still very important. But, you know, we weren't able to do a whole lot like for direct aid to Ukraine to help like win the war or weapons or anything like that, like in previous summits. So, that was disappointing. It was cool to see the biggest summit ever still in 2025, right? Over 3 years later, people are like, it's still a massive issue for a lot of people. So it's good that this happens, and they have to continue to, right? It's the long game now. The reality is it's the long game, and we're in that now. So you can't just give up at this point.
Yeah, I think a good footnote to add to that too, a lot of people don't know that you can actually, if you can't make it to DC for the Ukrainian Action Summit and you were serious about advocating, you can set up a Zoom call with your representatives for the same time period.
Oh, so, cool.
Just be prepared. Don't go in there with, a freaking midday pub chat rant. Be prepared.
Yeah, like I'm serious though, because and it's cringe, but it's 4 days long, and we get there on Sunday, and then Monday we spend all day in advocacy training and like meetings and like how to actually talk to them, because you can't just, like Chunga said, you can't just go in there and say, why the fuck don't you support Ukraine?
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can't do that. I mean, you can like do it if you want, but like they're not going to listen to you. And
that's not effective.
Yeah, you're not going to be effective. I mean, you might feel effective though. You might get some, steam off your chest. Go to Marjorie Taylor Greene's office.
Oh, now that would feel good.
yeah, but it would be bad though. You got to be political, and it sucks. And you got to wear a suit and dress up. But yeah, like Chunga said, have a plan, like practice. Like that's why I do like the Action Summit, because we get like a policy, like we get everything. It's all there in a cheat sheet, so I just read it over, put it in my brain, and then I don't even read a piece of paper. I just talk right to them. So people have different strats. They keep notes, and then they refer to their notes, and then look up. I'm just talking to you at this point, because but yeah, it's not that I mean, you might be nervous the first time because you're talking to your congressperson, or federal and big deals or whatever, I guess. But yeah, you might be a little nervous, but after you keep doing it and you continue doing it, it'll get easier over time.
Yeah, good call, man. A couple things here. So Canty, how's it going? Welcome. How's things?
Oh, just waking up.
Yeah.
Good morning, Canty.
Long night.
Oh, that's funny. So fundraising going okay? Things good?
Seems to be going good.
Awesome.
Not much left before Easter, so we're pushing out the last of it.
Yeah, we got super lucky. Somebody dropped a 10,000 donation on our thing, and we got a truck done. Yeah, man. Yeah, one shot, Andrew. Boom. Done.
You have a sound for that, Dick?
I've actually got a couple things we could do for that. So first we can go, and then for the big ones, we always bring it in with a horn, right? And we might have something that we could do. Let's see here. We can give it the old chat dance. And we can send our resident raccoon for a run there. Go Buckchuck.
Go Buckchuck.
Yeah, because he stands there pointing out the donations, which I'm going to get to, and then I want to turn to Chungus here. So let me get some shout outs done. We've got Petra Olsen in with 129 Swedish kroners with love to Ukraine and with love thou shall be spent. We've got the Weasel in with £5. Hello, everyone. Hello, Weasel. Thank you very much. We've got Niles G. Cunson coming in with 10 shills membership. I think that was 11, but it's hard to get it right. Thanks, Niles. We got Yvonne Way coming in with a $5 super chat. She's queen of the super stickers around here. And we've got Yvonne Way again with another super message. Putin's puppet, the crazy orange, and I'll fill it in for Commander McMillan since he can't be here. Shit, Gibbon. And we got Michelle Esquera with a $10 super chat as well, just supporting the channel. Oh, thank you so much. What a great shout that is. And then we switch over to this other one, Kofi there, or Ko-Fi, I don't know. And it's Joe Medleyan with $20. Woo! For the summer beer fund. Stock up now. Oh, thou shall be done. Awesome, Joe. Thanks, everybody. Very cool indeed. One extra heart, just because you all deserve it so much. I want to switch over to Chungus here. How's reaction to the show going over your side?
Fairly well. You know, it's pretty early. I got a lot of viewers from, internationally, but things are going well. Everybody's engaging. They're happy to see Canty in the chat. I had questions for Philip. He dipped out a little early, but, other than that, things are going pretty well.
We'll get Phil in and do another group stream coming up again on the weekend coming if you want. So, because he's always got something to say. I just have to check something. I think my son's very elevated. So you guys can take it away for a second. I'll be right back.
No problem.
Okay, Slavi, over to you.
Yeah. Why don't we I was hoping Commander McMillan would be here, but he's not. So let's go over. Well, Russia started a new offensive, and that escalated into a significant spring offensive, intensifying attacks across multiple fronts in Ukraine. Ukrainian military leadership reported a substantial increase in Russian military activities, particularly in the northern regions of Sumy and Kharkiv Oblast. Over 67,000 Russian troops have been relocated to the Sumy border for operation. Also, Ukrainian forces have captured 2 Chinese nationals fighting for Russia in eastern Ukraine, with intelligence suggesting over 150 Chinese citizens are involved in the invasion. President Zelensky has summoned the Chinese ambassador for explanations, raising concerns about foreign movement in the war.
There was at least 40 Chinese citizens confirmed through social media to have signed up willingly and headed off to Russia.
I actually have a theory on that. It was actually planted by Russia because I believe that Russia didn't like that China and EU were getting closer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I think it was a planted kind of...
Makes sense.
I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Interesting thought.
Yeah.
Did anybody hear the explanation given of why it was different to the Foreign Legion in Ukraine? Why Chinese fighting for Russia was different to the Foreign Legion in Ukraine? Because Zelensky came out with an explanation of why it was different. Because people were saying, well, what's the difference? There's foreign people fighting in Ukraine. But he came out with a clear explanation. I haven't had the chance to have a look at it yet.
To me,
obviously nobody here has. I bet the commander has, but he's not here.
Yeah. I mean, in my view of things, when the aggressor has multinational
the commander says they were not foreign volunteers, they were volunteered by their government. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah. To me, it's more like, multinational gang up situation versus just international support on defense. I see that as completely different. Yeah, very much so. But the forced thing, very much.
There's no way they're not going there without influence from their government. Their government's going to want intel on the fighting. They're going to want to have firsthand battle experience.
Yep.
And especially with Taiwan looming around the corner for them to take, especially with the Trump administration, man, it's all lining up for them to jump in there and try to take Taiwan. So why would they not want military experience? To have that many amount of Chinese nationalists over there fighting, that's clear intentions from their government.
Yeah.
Well, another key thing to look at is Ukraine doesn't have foreign volunteers fighting in Russia.
Right.
Russia is having foreign volunteers fighting in Ukraine. That's a key point too.
Very much.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
to-
that's
yeah.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
The yeah. Well, that's not the thing that everybody sort of sees, though, is it?
Hmm.
No, and that's why it's important to point that out.
Yes, exactly. You're right. Oh,
Interesting. Yes.
so we've got this mush in the world of various countries under financial distress because of the whole tariffs fiasco. And does anybody have any picture of where this will play out with regard the war in Ukraine and how the effect is going to really influence that?
Yeah, it's going to pull us out of. I mean, we're going to have a focus on China, like we are. We're like, I feel like our attention is being drifted from everything between internally inside of the United States, like Elon Musk and Doge, taking our benefits away and like siphoning all of our money to billionaires. But also, supporting Ukraine on a state level. We're starting a trade war with China. And it's getting to the point where I'm worried that that's going to be like the distraction. But it's going to be like an actionable distraction that Trump's going to like try to force us into it. And then also, is it okay if I share a little conspiracy I have? But
yeah.
Okay. All right. Conspiracy, not truth. I'll let you know that now. All right. There's no facts behind this. I'm just guessing. Right? Because this is what I'm worried about based on patterns. Where it's obviously most of us are going to be against war with China or like any type of a conflict with China. And I'm concerned that if we're outwardly about it, that we're going to be labeled communist, and then Trump is going to like act martial law and be able to put us in CCOT in El Salvador because we are opposed to America like puffing our chest to China or any type of a conflict with China because it's the Communist Party. But you know, I'm worried that they're just going to label us that if we're outwardly opposed to any type of stupid, dumb conflict with China.
They're already stepping on those into that zone right now with the protests, universities, Gaza. You know, like they're already very much. You cannot protest one side of this, only the other. You know,
and that's
like
where it starts. That's where it starts. That's why it's that's what the concern is, because it's like it's starting there, but then it's not going to stop there.
Right. As soon as the doors open a crack, it's free to open wide.
Right. And look, I mean, I was a child when we went to war in Iraq, but what did the counter protesters to the war get called? Did they get called anti-American or anything at the time, or anyone that was outwardly against the war on terror at first? I know what they were called during Vietnam. Documentaries, but you know, I'm wondering if anybody that protested against Iraq or Afghanistan, if you were labeled anti-American or were followed or anything at the time. I don't know. I was a child though. I got to look up that history.
Of course they were. Yeah, absolutely spot on. I'm sure they were. I mean, the war against terrorism was purely about America, in America's mind, and so it wasn't like involving any other state. It was just somebody was attacking America. So clearly, if you were speaking at all for the other states, you know, the Middle East or anything, then you were anti-American. Because it was the war on America.
Speaking of protest, the next hands-off rallies are April 19th.
Yep.
Oh man.
Right.
I'll be there.
I didn't know that.
Cool.
We had the biggest protest since 2020.
Heck, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how I started, right? I
didn't
started
know that.
covering the Black Lives Matter protests and George Floyd's murder. And what I saw on Saturday, 2 weeks ago, Saturday now, right? No, last Saturday. Yeah, that was the biggest protest I've seen since George Floyd's murder, and like everybody in Minneapolis,
wow,
like filling the city with protests. Like, the whole Capitol, like it was almost halfway to the cathedral, which is like 3 blocks away from the Capitol building in St. Paul. But there were like 25,000 people at the Capitol.
Wow.
Yeah.
Altogether, like nationwide, how many people came out to protest?
I mean, I see more. Yeah, I've seen a report from 5 million, but other reports say like in the about 500,000, like 500 to a million. So
Look, more than that. But
yeah. Yep, I've seen the reports of 5 million, like you guys are saying, but I've also seen like the 500 to like a million too. So it's a lot.
Have you guys seen the social media reels about a Veterans March on July 27th happening at the Capitol? And it's more of a demand than a protest. I saw some social media posts about that. I'm kind of curious.
What is it again?
I haven't seen this one.
Veterans March to the Capitol on July 27th. I saw a post on a pretty popular TikToker that's been kind of spot on with stuff. I'm curious if anybody's heard of it.
I haven't.
No, not yet. I got to tap back in. I'm just getting better. So maybe I got to look at the Discord, and it's probably I'm in there. I'm in the Discord. They have one for every state. They have a major one. And it'll let me know. Cool. Yeah, I'll go. Is it in DC or is it just any state capital?
I think it's in DC. Actual March to the Capitol.
Oh, cool.
I'm in a little mountain town on the west side of the Rockies in Canada, and we even had a little rally in town, you know, and it's a little town, but they still did it, you know, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty big. Well, I mean, at least it looked big here in Phoenix. There was a ton of people out there, so it was pretty good.
Good to hear.
So with all these protests, I'm just seeing Lance McMillan saying that basically there's going to be a rise of counter protests, those who support the MAGA position, so that you'll end up with two giant protests going on at the same time. And there's almost like one will be a deregistered protest and the other will be the pro-MAGA protest. So I think that's what he's suggesting, but he didn't say it in so many words. But
we actually saw it. We saw it over here in Rockland. There was a counter protest during the hands off protest. It was a group out of the Rockland area. They actually got a hold of the representative there and said, "Hey, how do we stop the protesters?" Kevin Kiley was like, "We're not stopping the protesters. They're fucking ridiculous."
Didn't that happen with George Floyd? And didn't that lead to another guy with a gun on the street? That young guy who shoot people or shoot himself? I can't remember, but
wish
that was a nightmare situation, right? Holy.
Yeah,
he got away with it, didn't he?
Counter protest because it's been kind of said that there's instigators. So the hands-off protest becomes violent, so they can, so Trump can put martial law. And that's exactly what they want to stop. The hands-off protest, non-violent protest, is for it to get somewhat violent. So they have instigators.
Yeah.
So.
What will happen eventually if it gets bad? Like, I'm just being honest because I lived through 2020 and riots and buildings burning down, and I saw the worst. So,
crazy.
Probably will happen eventually if it continues to get worse. Is there will still be the peaceful, the main one that goes to capitals, and there will be an additional protest of people that are violent. Okay, and they're gonna like go and gather too separately. It'll be a whole thing, and they're gonna go and do their thing at some point, you know, and it's not going to be up. And I'm just going to be honest. I don't think it'll be up to the main peaceful protest to police the other one.
Ken, is that live?
Like,
Are
there's
they doing
the
that
big
live
main
right now?
one that is absolutely peaceful. I've been covering it since February 5th. Right. I just know how humans work now. Okay. And eventually, if it continues to get bad and our benefits are taken and the situation continues to decrease, nothing's going to stop that. I saw it. I saw it from my own eyes. Right. Nothing will stop that, what people are worried about. But the main one, like Slavi says, is absolutely focused on being like, you know, just holding signs, standing and like gathering with thousands of people. And that's like still very effective. It's visually effective. It draws more people in, more so than any type of a violent, you know, the gathering or anything like that. So,
right.
But
the MAGA side did the violence with January 6th and everything. The worst thing that could happen would be to equal that or even come close to it. It must be peaceful people wanting peaceful change. It must be.
Yeah, I don't even know what that would look like too with a protest like this, because with 2020 and the Black Lives Matter movement, it was focused on the police. So like, you know, the police had the ability to like be violent, and then obviously the protests could be violent back, and it was like very much like a direct conflict on the ground, like often.
Yes.
And with this, it's like, we're not really focused on the police. Like that's not really the protest focus. It's Elon Musk and like the government.
That's right.
But so right now it's like, I think for a long period of time, and again, unless Trump deteriorates it more, which it's looking like that, I think there will be a separate contingent eventually that I'll be out there with the shit on again, wearing my gas mask and reporting from the tear gas. So
Canty had a good one in the chat there. Love your country, fear your government.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I mean, realistically, like if he really tries to propose a third term, like
it's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
I'm just, I'm going to legally join a militia if that happens. So.
Oh, dude, I was thinking the same thing.
Yep. I'm in a firearm, and I'm joining a Minnesota militia if he proposes a third one.
Mm-hmm. He has no respect for the American Constitution, as far as I'm concerned. He only gives a rat's ass for it when it benefits him. Otherwise, it's just in his way.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
By the way, did you see the pins that he's making, like his office people at the government wear? It's like gold pins of his head instead of the flag of America.
Oh my God.
Oh,
this guy is so
gross.
full of himself. It's sickening.
Oh,
It really is disgustingly sickening.
Yeah.
Well, that's
really
another thing I
horrible.
wanted to mention about the tariffs too. I don't think the tariffs are going to last long against China. What I'm seeing is like micro grifts, like a new grift every time. So they're going to do a micro drift where they do the tariffs, they move around their money in the stocks, make 200 billion here, then they move on to the next grift and just keep taking money until it's gone.
Yeah.
Extremely volatile, but it's not, you can't sustain this.
Yeah, it would seem not.
I think they're already cooked for midterms. Like people are not going to forget this and how Trump literally manually tanked the economy.
Yeah.
Biden had the historic record GDP, or not GDP, sorry. Dow.
I got some
Dow
hibiscus
Jones
tea.
Index.
Yeah. We have an award here. We have an award to give out here. Ooh. So Isa H in the chat, this one's for you.
Good damn.
That's a kangaroo, not a golden cock.
Yeah.
Oh, God, hibiscus tea is the best.
When somebody just has to troll like a troll can troll, you get the golden cock. So
why put a kangaroo's head on it?
Well, it's not here. Watch. It's not really a kangaroo's head. Look again. It's a donkey on like a dildo thing.
Oh, like a donkey dick.
It does look like a kangaroo head.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Okay.
Hey, you gotta point out those that need their 30 seconds of fame in the most nasty way possible. Why be that person? Why can't you make friends properly? What did your uncle do in the woodshed?
Yeah, a crumb of that microgrift, right? Just a crumb.
First, I was thinking, I was like, is that an ass stick? What's an ass stick?
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Donkey dong. Yes. That's so all this financial chaos, how's it really affecting Russia, do you think? Do you think they're feeling it, or actually it just doesn't get through to them?
The war is affecting them more than I think these tariffs are right now. Like it's going to affect Americans. Like we're going to be we're going to pay $4,400 more for regular things.
Yeah,
it's going to hurt us
already,
more than Russia.
To be honest, I'm already feeling it bad. And it's, I mean, today they announced that the tariffs aren't effective for technology, for phones, laptops, but I mean, if you are doing business with clothes and any products that come out of China, you're done for.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
Also medicine, a lot of the chemicals that in our meds come from China.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff on back order, and a lot of medicine is not happening. So I'm definitely feeling it already. I don't know about you guys, but it's been insane.
That sucks.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, good that you can see it. That's
Just
I mean,
starting.
I don't want you to feel it, but I want people to see it so that they know.
Yeah. The
The oil
Trump.
prices have really been affected. And do you think
yeah.
the Russians really feel that? Or is that like, you know, like sometimes when there's huge financial things, you see the price of grapes go up or something like that, or like Slavi was saying, you know, different things go up, but it actually doesn't inherently change the fabric of society unless it's, you know, super dramatic. But how do you think the oil prices are affecting Russia? Does anybody have any insight?
Well, the cost of production for Russian oil is about $45 a barrel. As long as they're getting above that, they're doing okay. But the thing that's really hurting them right now is India seized one of their tankers because
India.
Wow.
Yeah, it went into port without insurance. And so India seized one of their tankers, and then I think it was Estonia seized another tanker heading towards the
Estonia,
Russian
yeah.
port. Yeah. So
Yes.
there's two of their tankers off the market. So
Wow.
But they must have hundreds, right?
I'm getting the
And they're just
impression.
rented anyway.
I'm getting the impression through the reports I keep hearing scattered here and there that a lot of their fleet is decrepit at best.
Well, they got cheap shit and they make good shit.
So
too. It
any
depends what you
good
pay for,
vessels
really.
that are taken out of
I've seen some really good
rotation
stuff go
is
from
got to hurt them at least a little bit, right?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but aren't they just rented ships? They're not actually Russian ships because they're the shadow fleet. They rent them to carry oil. That's why they've got all foreign crew and they're registered in another country.
Commander McMillan's in the chat saying it's dozens of shadow fleet tankers. So, you know, out of dozens, any number of good ships does have an actual measurable effect, right? For sure.
Okay, dozens, not hundreds. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, I'm hopeful for, you know, you've got to consider global recession is a possibility, and I just hope that if that happens, we'll be in a world of pain. But if it breaks up Russia, then it'll be kind of worth it. You know, we'll all actually survive it. We can grow potatoes or whatever, but if they break apart because they all go into too much financial distress to survive, then that'd be, you know, I'd be kind of content with that.
Very much.
Is that your feeling? Is that your feeling? That I feel as though the West will do better than countries that have no reserves like Russia.
Yeah.
Which spent
Makes
it all
sense,
blowing.
right?
I think it really depends on what the population, how they respond to it too, because you have to look like a lot of the Russian population, they've been experiencing hardships their entire life, so they wouldn't really see a huge difference if they're already
good point.
You know, they're already preset to having it rough. Here in America, you run out of fucking bags at the store, it's a goddamn riot, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think
Chungus is saying is absolutely right. Russia has been a wartime economy for a while now. So whoever would feel anything like that probably left, and they probably won't. But most of the people, they've been in this wartime economy where the only way to kind of survive, because the government, they make them like run out of money and have a bunch of, and basically the only way to survive is to go to war, and that's their wartime economy. It's been like that for a while.
So then it depends on the government being able to pay them to go to war, because you know it seems like in the Russian state, most people are on a state pension or
government doesn't need to pay them because they died. They don't care. They go on these meat waves, and I mean there's interviews of these women saying how can they're like, I don't know, 40-year-old hookers, Russian hookers. They're like, how can you get an apartment these days? And the other woman says, you know, you just sign up a military guy, he goes to war, he dies, you get an apartment.
Wow.
Yeah, good. I'm into that scam. Anybody up for it?
Damn.
Well, I was
I'm
reading
going to give it a shot. I'm going to give that a definite shot. How about it, Candy?
I was reading a story the other day where there's like groups of women that are on their sixth, seventh, eighth husband that have been shipped off to war, and they're like camping out the recruitment centers to marry the guys to get the check when they die.
Wow.
Exactly. And see, that's what I mean, that they're already in that mentality. That's their wartime economy. They really
Just
don't give
gaming
a shit.
it. Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
Wow. That's intense.
So then does recession have the chance to break the Russian economy of being able that the government can't pay their soldiers to fight? Does it have any chance of having that outcome? Or do we just give up on that?
Honestly, I feel like the better method is tightening sanctions on Putin's friends. Like, we just dropped sanctions on Karina Rottenberg, Boris Rottenberg's husband, who's close ties to Putin, and she was like quintessential in moving funds around to circumvent sanctions already. So us loosening sanctions on the oligarchs and the people that are actually making money, that's going to make the war more profitable for them.
Yeah. Yeah, Trump's once again playing to the rich. Playing to the rich. Couple of shout outs here. So we got White Fishy One in with a direct Ko-fi donation there. Ko-fi, I don't know, whatever. $20 too. To continue the fight and to remember we need to support Ukraine. Slava Ukraine. Heroam Slava. Great shout out. And then we got one in $80 direct donation in from Stephen Walsh.
Guys, please subscribe
He says
if you
a
haven't.
smaller
Hit the like,
one
share it out
today.
if you
That's
could.
not all that small there,
Thank you very
Stephen. Thank you very much. He says he had to buy some borscht ingredients. Awesome. And needed to replace a Galco holster. Galco? Is that like I don't even know what that is. I'll have to look it up. Here, let me look it up here. I have a thing.
I have a thing.
I'm not sure. I have to look it up better. But huge shout, Steve. Thank you very much, Mr. Walsh. All right. Very cool. Let me hit that again. Yes, I will figure that out in a minute. What was I going to say? I can't remember now. I got myself all distracted. It's gone. Who wants to jump? Who wants to do it? Oh, let's do a fundraiser look, shall we? So this is the entire fundraiser itself as a whole. There's 86,000 euros. Well, 86,714,000 euros in the pool so far, with a goal of 220,893 donations, which is awesome, everybody. And let me just flip it forward here. The Shills one directly is at 11,028. So huge shout, everybody. I'm going to find out who threw that massive one in, and, for sure have one of those, have a few drinks and watch a movie online nights or something,
Are you going to do a reveal?
We were talking about the Russian Navy. I did have it in my news that Putin announced a $87 billion plan to modernize Russia's Navy over the next decade.
Really?
Yep. 87 billion.
That's
Yeah, but maybe they don't really have that. Maybe they announce it, but they really can't. I mean, they can't. There's no way you can be tearing up money this fast and blowing up all your money and still be able to do all the things that you have a plan for.
Yeah.
You actually can't. It's like owning a yacht for an individual person. It's just a sinking, it just destroys all your finances.
Oh, it's
and you can't also renovate your house, and you can't also, go on that expensive holiday.
Yeah.
It's like you're tearing up money, surely.
Yeah.
See, all I could think of is that Russian jump carrier that's been in dry dock for 8 years being refurbished.
Yeah. Yeah, they barely keep it afloat.
Scrapped it
Yeah.
and made a new one.
I don't know if you saw Georgie Ukraine Matters video where he was in, I think he was in Kyiv when he made the statement, and he said, the Russians think they can afford to carry on this war
Spider-Fate, what
forever.
type
Well, they
of
fucking
dishwasher
can't.
pods are made in Poland?
I took great hope from that comment.
It's good, valid point though. Absolutely, for sure. I'm just keeping an eye on the time. Okay, yeah, we got about 10-15 minutes here, and then I think my son's gonna start demanding my attention a bit more. But yeah, okay, so we're still good for a bit. I'm quite concerned about the political situation as it pertains to America and Ukraine, and it getting worse, not better. I wonder, is it possible? Is it all? And I think Commander's still here. Yes, he is. Is it at all possible that there could be any sort of grassroots Republican thing like, hey, we've got to save our party and get back to what it was. We can't let it just be this extreme MAGA thing anymore, you know? Or are they just going to ride this to destruction and then they'll have to rebuild the party from like the ground up later?
It's so dead. It's not even like
it's gone. Fuck that.
It's gone. Like there's like that's hope. There's people that have hopium, and then that's all it is. Like I know people that still want to like are in the Republican Party, and like it's gonna come back. No, it's not. And like but then that person that says this isn't doing any grassroots efforts to like make it still be a Republican Party. They're just like coping at home, and then it's just being taken over even further. So yeah, Republican Party's dead. It's MAGA. And it will never return to the Republican Party until it becomes politically disadvantageous to be MAGA. But that is not the case right now.
Right.
Yeah, I think the better chance of change is going to be the reinvention of the Democratic Party. They need to go a little more to combat MAGA. You got to go a little more extreme. So they're going to have to really dive deep into what they want, what their policy is, what they believe, and reevaluate their strategy. You know, I'm watching Gavin Newsom over here on a podcast in my state. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah,
that's cringe. So Democratic Party needs to go more progressive, in my opinion. They tried going mid, center, right, and that did not work. You don't pull right wingers that way. They just basically want maybe a different Trump, but like not him. So that can't happen because then you're also going to lose a giant portion of your left leaning base too. So they got to go more. It's got to be a populist progressive, in my opinion. For the Democratic Party, for them to even have a shot. If it's going to be another mid-tier, Kate Middleton, like not even somebody that can push the needle, it's probably going to be the same result as 2024.
I don't think they're getting the message, because did you see that thing they passed around with them all doing the little boxing pose or whatever, that little cringy video? Lord, man. We had a question in from a viewer, Sarah. It's for you, Andrew, there. She asks, can Mercado elaborate on the EU returning the Russian frozen assets? She wasn't clear on what was being said there.
Yeah, let me try to get the exact number. So actually, we had an article just come out from Yahoo Finance from 9 hours ago that that they're calling on the European Union to use the frozen Russian assets to boost defense. Spain is proposing this right now, so there actually is motion on the frozen assets for Europe right now. I'm going to go over it on my stream tonight because I had brought it up and I wasn't able to provide an update on that, but there's about 200 billion in Russian central bank assets held in Europe that could be used to help Ukraine, and so Spain is moving on that today. It looks like I just looked it up right now. Yep. So there's U.S. frozen Russian assets and there's European Union frozen Russian assets, and Europe has until July to unfreeze those and give them to Ukraine.
Otherwise, they go back to Russia.
Yeah. Otherwise, they go back to Russia.
Oh, right. So there's only two options.
Yep.
That should be a no-brainer.
Yeah.
How come they can't just refreeze them? Why isn't that an option?
Rules with the Bank of Belgium, because that's why people bank there, because they don't abide by any other rules other than their own for their bank. But that's why people bank there,
right?
Including Russia.
Yeah. It's very popular place.
They won't anymore.
Yeah.
They won't anymore, but
yeah. But
So the rules of the bank not override the giving of the funds to Ukraine?
They care about money.
yeah, theirs is only a bottom line answer, right? They don't.
Yeah, they don't. They're not swayed by emotions for what's right. It's just money.
Yeah,
In
but
Russia,
they want the Russians to keep investing in their bank, so they don't want the funds to go to Ukraine, it would seem.
likely not. Yeah, it's 200 billion of money in the bank that that bank would lose to. Yeah.
Yeah. The world can't let it go to Russia. It has to go to Ukraine. It just has to.
If it goes back
That's
to
what we
Russia,
said
obviously
about
they'll use it
America.
for the war.
Sorry, Rudy?
No, if it goes back to Russia, they'll obviously use it for the war, and
Yeah.
you know, they're the aggressor. I mean, they should be having to pay reparations and shit like that. So
time.
I mean, it should be a no-brainer that it should be going to Ukraine.
Yeah. Absolutely agree, man. Absolutely agree. We do have a couple other questions here. Mitch Ashdown had one in the chat here. Did the Chinese ever leave Belarus from like 4-6 months ago there, a little while back? I'm myself, I don't.
Sorry, what's
Yeah.
the question again? Sorry, what's the question?
Did the Chinese ever leave Belarus from like 4-6 months ago
I
there?
didn't know the Chinese were there.
What were they doing in Belarus?
Yeah, I didn't.
Training, weren't they?
Training.
Was it?
I think
Training.
they're doing joint training.
Ah,
Hmm.
I don't recall this, so I'm not sure. Yeah.
Call it.
I could be
there's a
wrong,
lot
but
of
I'm pretty
military
sure.
exercises
Mm.
that go on around the world, joint, like the thing with India and Russia was still doing naval exercises.
Yeah, Sarah has a good one in the chat here too. Could Zelensky persuade the U.S. to give Ukraine the frozen assets, but spend the money in the U.S. on weapons and stuff, and then that way America benefits from it, right?
Yeah.
I think that's been talked about quite a
think
bit.
that's on the table already. Yeah.
It's a good way to look at it, because this is the transactional president. There has to be something for him in the deal. So, spend of money in the country, blah, blah, right?
It's this back payment, which is just such a vile thing. And he would just keep the money and not give the arms, it would seem, if he
Yeah.
could.
Well, as
Yeah.
long as the other
Another thing
nations
that
don't
Trump
behave
has
like
been
Russia,
sour
I'm sure
about
it would
was
be okay
this
for them to bank in
that
the EU.
Europe has these was it 500 billion, and he did talk about this, that he does want that to be spent in United States.
Yeah, there's an angle for it, right? I can see that for sure. What's going on, Chungus, over the chat your way? Anybody got any cool points that was being addressed?
Yeah, well, there's a mention about the banks and politicians are afraid that other nations will be scared to bank in the Europe if the EU can take their money, even if these
Exactly.
are super extenuating circumstances. But I would say that as long as they don't behave like Russia is behaving, they wouldn't have to worry about anything. But when you're a genocidal maniac of a country and you're bombing children every day, I would expect your money to be taken.
Yeah, I got to agree there, man. That's well said for sure.
Chungus, isn't that a bit like the argument of why America's not part of the ICC? Because they do want to be able to carry out military actions in foreign states if they see the need, and they don't want the International Criminal Court to come for them?
I would. I'd also believe there's business deals so tied with the oligarchs that they have it that way for a reason as well.
Yeah.
Another one here. How about the funds are kept in the bank, but switch ownership to Ukraine? Then Ukraine can use the interest on the funds, but the bank still has the assets in hand as collateral. It's a good angle. That's Mr. Nobody in the chat there. Thanks.
I know there's been a bunch of plans presented how to deal with these, because I have a couple of friends that have dealt with this, and think tanks, and they've presented something similar to that as a plan to get these in terms of like interest and stuff. So that's actually pretty close to what I think they're looking at doing.
Well, there's also already been loans given to Ukraine that are being paid by the interest of the Russian frozen assets. So that's already been done. It's just how to continue it.
Yeah.
Gosh, an interesting crossroads. Well, God, imagine how we'll all feel imagine how everybody will feel if it goes back to Russia. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That would be
That'll
awful.
just prolong everything.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
so vile, so vile. So on a brighter topic, I did a little comparison chart. I don't know if you saw it for the how much communities give in regards trucks or pickups or various vehicles to Ukraine. And so far we've given, the Swedes have given 913 vehicles with Blagula Belen. Car4Ukraine's got 606 that they've sent. Pickups for Peace has got 595. They're just about to hit their 600th vehicle. NAFO's got 578, but they'll probably do a convoy sometime after Easter.
Thank you, Linda, for the
and then there's
25 to the
Jeeps for
donor
Peace.
wall.
But
Thank
apparently
you.
there's other organizations in other countries, but it's really hard to find these organizations if you've not got their language.
Right.
But the total amount of that in dollar value is in, the tens of millions.
Yeah.
It's quite extraordinary what the community has contributed. And I'm not talking about drones or humanitarian aid or any of the other things. So these things that we do, buying trucks, is just so generous and so, it's people doing what they can as individuals for Ukraine. But it makes a huge difference on the ground to the soldiers.
Yeah.
And, we really have to continue this while they're so insecure about anything else. At least we can get them in and out of the firing line. And it was quite, when I did the financial contribution, it was really very moving to think how much it amounted to. Extraordinary.
It is. It's watching it, being a part of it, and seeing everything unfold, and the idea of crowdfunding towards the war effort in the early days. I never thought it could be anything like it is. The amount of the dollar figure alone, I never would have thought this possible. Like, war is funded by governments. I never would have thought this. It's unbelievable. It's great response from people. We need more though. We need more. Sorry, but we do.
We need more. So we've already given in truck value, in trucks, 43 million. That's in euros. That's extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah.
But these things are getting also blown up, and we need to keep this going. We need to, I notice a friend of the channel, Viper, had his a truck just totally destroyed this week.
Yeah.
And he said that it was pinned by a drone and they all got out with minor injuries, but then the mortar came in and totally destroyed the truck.
Yeah.
And so it's irretrievable. But, it's really heartwarming that we're doing this with crowdfunding, but we need more. We need more action. We need to be more generous. I know times are tough and everything
Uncertain.
costs more, but you've got to put your money where the value really is for the world, and keep giving. That's all I can say.
It's very important indeed. We are going to get ourselves into roundtable wrap-up mode here, because then I can end on time and, I can bugger off and be a good parent for a while. Slavy, do you want to take us around and we'll say goodbye to everybody?
Absolutely. Let's start at the bottom. Kansi, why don't you say your last goodbyes?
Well, I'd rather make a point about the trucks and the donations for the Cars4Ukraine Easter Pysanky fundraiser.
Awesome.
These trucks save lives. My personal experience was donating a truck that saved 17 people, evacuated 17 people before it got blown up.
Wow.
There's other stories where, NAFO just had a short put out a while ago that 79 people were evacuated in 24 hours with one truck.
Wow.
So these
Yeah.
trucks are lives.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a field, like that's your dollars really count when that can be done, right? That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. They're really life-saving, aren't they?
Lifeline for sure.
The
Andrew, can you please say your final thoughts, please?
Sure. Thank you guys again for having me on the panel. Mercado Media. I just went back from the Action Summit in DC, so I'm going to be talking about that tonight on stream. Actually, tonight's my Ukraine update, so I'll be doing that here in like 15 minutes or so. All
Cool.
the latest news, and then also reacting to my boy Wick, who went on Tim Pool's podcast and debated Lactoid, which I did, and we destroyed Lactoid. So I'm hoping that Wick did great because he hosted the debate. And me, Dylan, and Anna took on Lactoid and like a Marxist guy, I guess. Yeah. So
His name is Lactoid?
the MAGA guy was Lactoid, and the far left guy was non-smoker or whatever, and they were on the same side. Unironically. Yeah. So we debated them and destroyed them. So I'm going to watch now. Tim Pool had Lactoid.
Yeah.
Debated, and then the guy that hosted the debate, Wick, is on the side for Ukraine. So I'm going to react to him tonight.
Cool.
And
I'm
then
gonna check that. Yeah.
And then we're hoping to have I can have Canty and Chungus on for a few minutes before you guys do your streams to promote your fundraiser. If you guys are available, I'll hit you up after this. And then Last of Us tonight. We're continuing that.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, great.
Amazing. Thanks so much. Chungus, please go ahead with your final thoughts.
Yeah, well, I'd just like to thank Claire to accidentally adding me to the Signal Chat group and give me the opportunity to fundraise with them.
100% clean on OPSEC.
It's been a great opportunity, being that I had no clue who she was and just got into the chat. No, on serious note, guys, like Renegade Chungus YouTube channel, still small. I got 865 subs. I'm trying to grow. I don't ever plan to stop fundraising. I have Ukrainian friends over there fighting right now. I talked to them. They're absolutely. We got him a truck on a fundraiser before this one. He's out there in a convoy. He's got an M2 Browning on the back. They're putting in work. The 14th Mechanized Brigade behind the scenes. We just raised another generator. Shout out to Paige in Kansas for funding that one. She didn't even ask for donations. So I'm gonna have to do something special for her. I plan to have her on for interview. Some other people from Sacramento on an interview. We're going to do a cross interview with the radio channel there. We got a lot going on over here. Like I said, as long as I've got a channel, I'm going to be fundraising. That's what it's all about. So please come over and throw me some subs. That'd be great. Shamelessly plug the subs right here.
Awesome. Yeah, the mods are dropping his link right now, so you can give it a click, get over there and tickle those buttons and show him some love.
Yeah, one more note. We will defile our bodies on stream, Canty, Luden, and myself. We've done some terrible things for donations, so if you want to see some great entertainment, you want to see me get cross-eyed drunk on Polish pickles and brandy, it's going to happen. So
awesome.
Sign me up. I do love what you guys do. Provide people entertainment, and then people will want to donate for sure.
Yes.
So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Great idea. Rudy from Rudy Reacts, with your final thoughts, please.
Yeah, it was a great panel. I'll be covering any upcoming protests that they'll be having out here. So I know they do have them here pretty often. So I'll be down there just checking them out and stuff. So my channel's still steadily growing and stuff too. It's almost about actually, I think I'm just a couple away from 900 subs. So,
cool.
Just go over there and subscribe, and I'll try and do better with posting for the fundraising for the Car4Ukraine. So, I've been kind of slacking on that. But other than that, it was great.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone, please subscribe. That's so very important. Remember of social currency. It goes a long way. And Claire, with your final thoughts?
My final thoughts. Do you remember those? I think they were from China, maybe Japan, but I think maybe it was Japan, where people used to.
Blue and yellow hearts in the chat, guys.
This might be the wrong generation to talk to, but they used to have a TV show where people would injure themselves and the audience would all be laughing. And they famously used to get a truck to drag you down a rocky hill with your bare bum on the rocks, And that reminds me of what Chungus and Canty are doing in a way. They're doing these crazy Japanese TV shows where they defile their bodies and everybody laughs and then gives money. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, my final thoughts are just for Ukraine, of course. You know, for all the drama that's going on in America, Ukraine's there fighting for its life. And the best we can do is support them because America has to play itself out with you know, global finances and protests and politics. And hopefully we have a wholesome America at the end of the day. But in the meantime, you know, Ukrainians are fighting with their lives and dying on the front and dealing with a brutal, torturing, child stealing, mother raping. I mean, everything vile and disgusting about humans is exhibited by the Russians. And I just think we have to just dig deep now to support Ukraine. Financially, I mean, we have to dig deep because they're not getting a lot of help from elsewhere.
Yeah.
So that's my final thought.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank the panel. Thank you so much to everyone for being here. To all the viewers, thank you so much. Don't forget to tap, tap, tap. Social currency goes a long way. And please remember this, Ukraine isn't just fighting for its own survival. It's standing where freedom holds the line. When we stand with them, we're defending the liberty that lives in every American's heart. These are times unlike any before. We must choose unity. We must choose courage. And above all, we must choose each other. Because if freedom falls there, it will fall everywhere. So stand up, speak out, stay human. God bless America, and Slava Ukraini.
Well said, Heroam Slava. Couple of shout outs I want to get in before we end here. We've got Mr. Nobody gifting out another 5 memberships. Huge thanks there. We've got Haji, I'm not sure which way that is. Super chat here. Have Russians suddenly stopped stealing from their government? Meanwhile, penguins refuse to shift penguin production to the U.S. Awesome one. And then one more super chat in from Haji as well here. Has anyone seen the portrait of Trump commissioned by Putin and delivered by Witkoff? I actually forgot to look. I didn't see it. But I can't believe how that worked out. That
It wasn't a portrait. It was an icon.
Oh.
It was an icon, which is like a church saint.
Religious thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
Weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all.
That's really.
And then we got Stephen Walsham with another big direct donation as well here. Found some more. You all do an awesome job. Huge thanks, Steve. Huge shout to Steve Walsh there. And remember, there's links in the description for most of the people here. Make sure you get over and sub to Slavi's channel. Make sure you get to the Car4Ukraine donation page. You got Rudy's channel to sub. We got Humongous Chungus here. We've got Canty Luton. And of course, I'm sure most of you are, but if not, get over and sub to Merck's channel because you're going to get some hands-on, in your face at the demonstration, type coverage. You're going to love it. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Huge shout out to our team who do so much for us in the background. It's not funny. And Slava Ukraine.
Heroam Slava.
Heroam Slava.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. See you soon.
All right. Wrapping that up. Well, hey, that was a good little chat, guys. Had some fun there. Let's take a peek at the campaign. Let me pull up my camera. I got to reach out to Merck. Let me see if he wants to do this live. Live. Activate. There I am. All right. I'm back. All right. Let me see what Merck wants to do with this. You know what? He's probably going to want to do it on... He said in a little bit. So... Probably not going to stick around with that. I had a really good chat with the guys. I wanted to see Phil Ittner a little more. I really have a lot of respect for that guy. He's very intelligent. He's been in the business a long time. I saw some questions I wanted to ask him, but we could do that. I'd love to do an interview with him, but he sounds like a very busy man. So maybe down the road here we can get an interview with Philip Ittner. that would be fantastic. Yeah, guys, that's all I got, really. I'll be over on Merck's channel a little later, apparently. I had no clue, but I will not miss the opportunity to put a plug. Let's see what the fundraiser's at real quick. Going skibbity. Yeah, on top of that, I'm trying to pack for my trip. I haven't even started yet. So, like, yeah, I got a lot to do today. Jeez Louise. I'm running out of time. 6,651 euros during stream. $25. Thank you, Linda. I'll take it. $25 a stream, whatever. Streamed 4 hours the other day for $5. I'll take it. If you want to make a donation, I know, guys, I know times are tough, but this is a really good cause. It's up in the chat pinned. Thank you very much for joining me today. I will see you guys over at Mercado Media in a little while. I do believe. I don't know when he's going to start it. I'll have more info for that, but I'll see you guys later. Thank you for joining.
My fundraisers, my fundraisers, my fundraisers. Ay, ay, my fundraisers, my fundraisers, my fundraisers. Ay, ay, ay. Coming to a town near you. It's the most famous bunch of bonkers repping NAFO crew. We raising money better than other fellas do. And we giving it all to this SAU. We stumble through your hood like we drunk on some beers, but all my fellas leaning on the monk of Vatnik tears. So when you see say, hey, it's time to give it up today. Don't you dare look away or unfollow, I just may. Yeah, I see you scrolling, but no boosting, you just trolling. If you broke as fuck, tweet out for other fellas who be rolling in the Fetty, the Mayo, the Skrilla, scratch that payroll. No slacking on your duties or go straight to Vatnik jail, cause my fundraiser's active. 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 My fundraiser's Bucket on this and funk can make you feel really great. But we out here stacking bread for the 14th Met Brigade. So shell it out like an oyster freshly poured off a rock, or we gon' shake your ass for that 5 spot in your sock. A little goes a long way when we all pitching in. Time to dig up all that change from that couch you're sitting in. There's no time left to wait, we gotta all donate. Bust it out, make it rain, and show we pro-Ukraine. Cause my fundraiser's active. 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 My fundraiser's
От волонтери нам доставили такий генератор. Дякуємо дуже. Надіюсь, він нам дуже-дуже пригодився. Зараз покажу, що він там всередині, який він.
Зараз передам камеру.
Ось тут такий документ, ось такий апаратик. О, надіюсь, він дуже-дуже нам підійде. Дякую.
Дякуємо, хлопці, за підтримку. Дякуємо за генератор. Слава Україні!
Car4Ukraine. Car4Ukraine. Let the melody into your brain. Car4Ukraine. Let the melody into your brain. Car4Ukraine. NAFO fellas gonna drive you insane. We're making moves while you're slower than molasses. We're riding deep, chasing donkeys up their asses. We all bosses, stomping schmucks like they're fastest. It's no wonder why the Peters wanna blast us. Can't surpass us, our razors hit the top. Stacking money like a crooked ass cop. Buying rides like a used Dodge Durango. Our whips hit you like that dude named Django. Now let's tango, this new beat is humongous. Burning on your toes like an itchy case of fungus. It's Easter time and the bunnies in among us. Brought to you by our renegade chungus, and we saying